In this video, I will share with you the gold standard LinkedIn ad strategy that I've used to generate qualified leads for my clients, which in the past have included global brands like F5 Networks, Calibra, Cloudflare, and a lot more B2B oriented businesses in the SaaS and IT services space. Now, to your benefit, even if you're not an enterprise business, these results can also be achieved for a small business with more conservative resources. Also, this is a strategy that can be used regardless of the industry that you're in, as long as you're selling to a business decision maker and your sales process requires people to schedule a demo or a meeting before they can actually sign up for the service. Additionally, in this tutorial, you will learn critical best practices that are needed for your LinkedIn ads campaign to make sure that they're getting in front of the right audience and that you can generate the most qualified buyers. But before we jump into the campaign build, I've created a brief that I want to show you that has key details which will make it easier for you to follow along. Now, if you want to skip ahead, that's totally fine. I put the timestamps below in the description. Okay, so let me introduce to you the John Stamos Tax Pros campaign brief. And I know I spelled John Stamos incorrectly, so please don't barrage me in the comments below. All right, so this is a business that recently opened a new location in Boston, and they hired a bunch of new accountants. And the problem is that they're struggling to get enough customers to be profitable. So their goal right now is to generate at least 25 meetings a week for tax and general accounting services, but they're only getting 5 meetings. So they need more leads, which is why they're coming to LinkedIn ads. Now, the campaign assets we have 2 ads for this one. The first one is this one you're seeing right here, where you have someone basically saying, help me out, and it says you don't have to do it all yourself. And then if you read the H2 text, it says, let us help you reduce your accounting and booking stress. Book a call. Now, obviously, when you create an ad on LinkedIn, this is just a creative. There's going to be post text on top, and there's going to be a headline on the bottom. Now, we have a second ad here. So we're going to A/B test. One with 2 girls in the image, and then one with a stressed out guy. And the idea is that the image is going to get someone's attention, and then they're going to read, and then contextually they'll obviously understand that this is an accounting service. So we have our 2 ads here. Now let's take a look at the details of the brief. So the key details is we want to generate leads, as we know. Instead of driving people to a website to use to try to get them to convert on the website, most websites I see tend to not have that great of a conversion experience. So for this example, we're going to use a native lead gen form, which 9 times out of 10 LinkedIn says it's better than driving them to your website. Because obviously we can get all the information from the user, their business email, their name, their phone number, the business they work for. We can get all that frictionless instantly with a native lead gen form. Now the audience we're targeting here is small business decision makers. So the founder, the co-founder of the business. For smaller businesses, they have 2 to 10 employees, maybe 11 to 50, to sell them, this accounting service to help them out. And we're focused in the US market. Particularly, we want to find those people who are actually in market searching or maybe in need of these accounting services. Now, the dates we're going to run this is starting April, and it's going to end in June. So it's a 3-month campaign, and we have this $15,000 budget for this campaign. Now, we have some key details here that we're going to use as we're building the campaign. So the post copy is going to read, let our certified tax professionals save you time and stress, well, which is true. It can be very stressful running your own business, especially if you're trying to do your own books yourself. So it's going to say book a free tax strategy consultation. And there's many things that could be tested here. So just keep in mind that this is a very bare bones, quick and dirty campaign brief to give you an idea so we can follow along. Okay, so now what we're going to do is first we're going to build our lead generation form within LinkedIn's campaign manager, and then we're going to go ahead and build the campaign together. Here we go. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is to make sure that you go to linkedin.com/campaign manager and find your ad account. If you don't have one, you should create one, and you should do all the prerequisites like connecting it to your LinkedIn company page, putting a credit card, a form of payment of sorts. And there's some other prerequisites that we won't really cover in this video, but they're important to do at some point. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go on the tab on the left-hand side where it says Assets. We're going to go to Lead Gen Forms, and we are going to create a Lead Gen form. Right now we don't have any, and it's going to be quite simple. We're going to take the information we have here from the name that we already have. This Lead Gen form is going to be in English. And it's going to say something like, book your free tax strategy session. And this is the form that they're going to see after they see our ads and click into it. So we're going to say something to the tune of, I usually don't use the post copy, but for now, we'll just leave that as a placeholder. Also very important, when you're using lead generation forms, LinkedIn's going to require you to include your privacy policy for your business. And obviously, I don't have a business called John Stamos Tax Pros, so you're seeing the logo from the M&H Digital LinkedIn page. Okay, now the next step here is for us to add our lead details. This is what information we want to get from the customer. So it's going to default to first name, last name, and email address. Very important here, I want to remove the email address because I don't want people to give me like their personal Gmail address. So I'm going to add a custom question here, and I'm going to say business email. So they have to manually type into a single line what that business email is. So some additional information that's probably important to get is maybe the company name, maybe the size of the company, and also phone number if that's relevant to you, or maybe you want to do the person's title. Yes. So company, job title. Okay. Just to make sure you're talking to like a key decision maker of the organization. And then here, you're just going to type in your confirmation message that someone's going to see after they complete their lead gen form. So this might say something like, thank you for submitting your meeting request. Someone from our team will reach out shortly. Cool. If you'd like also, you can have a landing page URL here so they can go, to your website and, Tax Pros and see some more information, but doesn't have to be there. Okay, hidden fields also is going to be very important. If you are doing any tracking, which you should be thinking about tracking, with UTM tags, this is where you would want to add this information. And if you're using a CRM like HubSpot or Marketo, this is going to be critical so that you can track where these leads are coming from. Okay, so now we've built our lead gen form, it's created. Now it's time to jump into building the actual campaign. So we're going to click on advertise. I already have a new campaign group here, and I'm going to come over here to create campaign. The first thing I want to do is go back and get my campaign name that I've already created. And I'm going to come over here. There's a quick and advanced method. 99% of the time, I'm going to tell you to use advanced because it has more bells and whistles. So we're going to then hit next to build a campaign within this campaign group, and we'll just call this Lead Gen 2023. A campaign group organizes a lot of different campaigns, so it can be used in many ways. Like if you have multiple services, you can create one campaign group for one service and then a separate campaign group for other services or for different regions. So there's many ways you can organize that. What you're seeing here is what objective do we want LinkedIn's algorithm to optimize our ads for? There's obviously a lot of different ones we could do here. We can push people to the website. We can get views on our video. We can get website conversions. Obviously, what we want to do is get lead generation. But one little distinction here is you could also get lead generation by driving people to your website. The lead generation you're seeing here is when you're using the native form fill within LinkedIn. So that's what we want to do for this campaign build. On the right-hand side, you're already seeing LinkedIn telling me the universe of the audience that I have. So we're looking at United States, and I don't know why it actually defaulted to these information. So I'm just gonna remove all attributes here. Close, I'm gonna remove all of these. And then I'm going to remove this. And now we should see the total universe of targetable audiences in the United States, which is a little bit over 200 million people. Obviously, our ads don't need to get in front of 200 million people. We need to get in front of people that want to buy our products and services. So there's generally two ways that you can go about this. From an audience perspective, we can build an audience from an account list, CRM records that you have. We can build a lookalike. We can do retargeting from a website. What we're gonna do in this example is we're gonna start first with the size of the company. That's gonna be important for us. So we're gonna say companies that have at least 2 to 10 employees or 11 to 50. And obviously you can see how large you can go in terms of that. Now we wanna say, and as you notice, we've gone from 200 million people to 25 million people. But we wanna get in front of decision makers. We don't wanna get in front of everyone in front of this company. So we're gonna go back to audience attributes, and we're gonna say job experience, and we're gonna say titles. And now I'm gonna start typing titles like owner. And what you'll notice is as soon as you start to type a title, LinkedIn kind of has an idea of what you're looking for, so it's gonna pre-populate other options. So I'm gonna say owner, co-owner, small business owner, franchise owner, and there's some more suggested titles that come up here. I'm gonna also type in founder. That's another way that people like to address themselves, or co-founder, or CEO, or president. These are common titles for decision makers at these companies. So now we've gone from 200 million to 25 million to 4.3 million people, but I think we can actually get more focused because there is actually a really great targeting capability that LinkedIn has around interests. So we can actually find member interest around services and products and general interest. So I'm gonna go service interest, and obviously you can see that there's a lot of different things. I'm gonna type in accounting, not accounting software. We want people who are interested in accounting as a service. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think we're at a good place now. So LinkedIn recommends that your audience size be at least 50,000 people within it. Hey, if you're feeling overwhelmed with what you're seeing so far and you have a client lifetime value for a new customer that is at least $10,000, then maybe we should chat. Listen, I've helped dozens of clients sort out their LinkedIn ad strategy and their overall paid media strategy. Take, for example, Kinetics. They're a video tech company in the SaaS vertical that works with over 500 publishers, including Forbes, Fox, and Reuters, to name a few. Now, in the first year I was working with them, I was able to increase their sales qualified leads by 420%, which ultimately led them to get an 8x ROAS on their paid ads investment. So if you're getting excited about those kinds of results, we should definitely talk. Follow the link below and book a call to chat with me, and we'll get back to the video. Size be at least 50,000 people within it. Now there's exceptional situations where you might have a highly targeted niche audience where it might make sense having a smaller audience. Nevertheless, our audience size is 2.7 million people in the United States that are founders of small businesses with 2 to 50 employees. And that's a good enough list for this example. There's many other different ways you can go about testing this, but for this example, I'm pretty happy with this. So we will continue on. Now, audience expansion is a cool little machine learning tool that LinkedIn has, that other paid social platforms have, that says, hey, what's the audience that Zaryn just built? And are there people who don't fit that exact criteria, but we think is the same person that they're looking for? So in that situation, audience expansion can help you get in front of other people and could potentially expand you beyond the 2.7 million. I personally don't like to start there. It's something that I sometimes test if I'm looking to scale further once I've really honed in on my audience. So we're gonna leave that for now. If you have the capability of saving this audience. I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna continue down. And now we get the ability to choose what ad format we would like to use. So for this example, I've actually already created 2 ads, which you've already seen. There's single image ads that are gonna come up on the feed. So that's already selected. We're gonna leave it at that. But just know that there's different types of formats that you can use and test into later on. Okay, now we'll scroll down to placements, which is where LinkedIn is gonna show your ads. There's fundamentally, for single image ads, 2 different places you can show your ads, not 4. 2, on LinkedIn's properties and also off of LinkedIn's property, which is called the LinkedIn Audience Network. This is third-party publishers and apps and websites that is not LinkedIn. It's targeting the LinkedIn audience you just built, but it's not on LinkedIn. I would always say proceed with caution if you're ever considering using that. And actually for this objective, we can't even do it because it's a natively gen experience within LinkedIn. So the next piece is setting a budget. You can set a daily budget or a lifetime budget. Usually it's good to do a daily budget if you have an always on campaign, but if you have a campaign that you're only running for a certain period of time, whether it's a promotion or whatever it might be, then you want to do a lifetime budget. For this example, we said we're doing this for 3 months, so I'm just going to leave it as a lifetime budget starting April 1st and then ending June 30th. So about 91 days. Now we scroll down to the bidding. We have the option to change this, but we want leads. We don't want clicks. We also don't want people just to see our ads. So we're going to leave this on leads. And also we have the option to then manipulate our bidding strategy so that we say, hey, LinkedIn, get me as many leads as possible for the lowest cost and spend all my money, or I am only willing to pay, $125 a lead. Get me as many leads as possible that you think you can get me for that price. But if a lead's going to cost me $130, I don't want that lead. Now, if you really understand the fundamentals of what it costs to service your client, and you know what you're willing to pay for a lead, great, you can use that. If not, maximum delivery is a great place to start. There's a third option, which I think for most people watching this video, I probably wouldn't recommend to touch when you're starting. It's probably something you'd use when you're a little bit more advanced for some cost efficiency testing. The last piece here is conversion tracking. This is optional. This account doesn't have any conversions, and also because we're doing a native lead gen form and people are staying within LinkedIn, they're not actually going to your website, so you don't need any additional tracking. So we're just going to say next, and now we're going to go to the next piece of this where we're going to actually create the ads. So you have the option, if you already have existing ads and content, to browse that existing content. But if you do not, you would just come up here and say create ads. So I am going to first come and unminimize my screen so that I can get the name of the asset here. I'm going to come back in here, paste this. I'm going to give this a destination URL, even though people are going to stay natively within LinkedIn and they're not leaving. I'm just going to put this here because it'll let me add a call to action. It'll let me add a headline. So I'm going to say, boom, copy and paste that introductory text. I actually had already pre-uploaded this, so I'm just going to zoom back in here. It's asking me for my headline. And I know I'm moving a little fast here, so hopefully you're not 2x watching this video. Okay, so on the top, this is where we name the ad. Where it says introduction text is the text you're seeing here on top. Destination URL, again, we're not sending them to my website, but as you can see, the website shows up here. We have the ad image here. You also have the option to give it an alt text. It's optional, not needed. Doesn't impact performance at all. Then you have here your headline. So you can see down here, book a free tax strategy consultation. You also have that option to add description. I almost never see a description come up, so I'm confused where this shows up. It says the ad description will not be visible in most scenarios. Yeah, so why do you even have this? Anyways. Okay, so this is a preview of what the ad would look like, and then it's asking us to select which lead gen form we want to use. So we've already built it. I'm going to select it here. And then what's the call to action that we want? So people are booking a consultation. So I think sign up, can work for that. And this is a preview of what that native lead gen form will look like. People would see it. They're going to come in here, put their business email, and then LinkedIn automatically and dynamically is going to pull in from their profile, their first name, their last name, job title, company, and company size, and then they can hit submit. So we're going to go ahead and save that ad. And then to save some time, I'm just going to hit duplicate. And then I'm going to change this to version 2. And I'm just going to upload. Oh, I actually already have it uploaded. Sweet. God, so efficient. Okay, so now we have that second version of the ad. You could also see a mobile feed preview. That's what it will look like on mobile. So it looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. Now we have our 2 ads ready. If you notice here, LinkedIn's telling you, hey, create more ads. If you have more ads, it can dynamically, optimize them and you can get better performance. It says on average, 5 ads lead to a 20% greater improvement on click-through rate, which I believe is true. So ideally you want to create more. For this example, we're not doing that. I'm going to quickly just see a preview of what this ad's going to look like on my feed. So I can see here is the creative asset, the post text, boom, I hit sign up. You see that native lead gen form pop up, great. And then here's the other version. I can hit sign up here, boom, form pops up, great. Now, if you're asking yourself, how do you get these leads? Well, they're gonna be available for download. You can download a CVS file where you can get all the information manually, or if you're using Marketo or HubSpot and you're linked up with Salesforce, you can integrate this dynamically. So your lead gen form is just pushing that data in real time to your Marketo or your HubSpot. Okay, so at this point, we've got our audience targeting figured out, our campaign stuff, we built our lead gen form, and we've created some ads. So basically now the next step is to review and launch. And if you can see on the right-hand side, this is actually giving us a forecast of how much money it thinks it could spend. So the minimum it thinks it could spend is $3,700, and the maximum is $14,999, which I put the budget of $15,000. What this basically means is LinkedIn can spend this $15,000. Hell, LinkedIn can probably spend $15 million if you gave it against this audience. It'd figure it out, like most platforms. Also very important is the average click-through rate information that you're getting here, where LinkedIn is basically saying, hey, for this audience and this sort of campaign, on average, these are the click-through rates we see. That doesn't mean they're clicking and signing up. That just means they're opening up your lead gen form, which is great because even if they don't submit, you can actually remarket to those consumers. Now, the other piece here is that it's giving you a forecast of how many leads it thinks you can get, which is super critical. And it's saying on average, it's probably going to cost you $58 to $87. Now, that doesn't mean all those customers are going to buy from you, but it does mean that these are people that are interested in booking meetings for your service. So this is a great number, and it lets you do some math so that you can figure out for the future what's the right budget you need to drive the certain amount of bookings you need for your business. Now, I know in terms of the creative stuff, we flew through this. By the way, I have a free LinkedIn ads B2B creative guide that I made in 2023 that has tons of great examples and breakdowns that you can check out, or if you have a media team or agency that you work with, you can give it to them. It has phenomenal examples and it's really actionable. I'm going to put a link below in the description, so make sure to check that out. All right, so one of the questions I get, very often after I launch campaigns or I finish a video like this is people want to know, well, what happens afterwards? How do you optimize? So one thing I actually do want to take you through is some of the free tools that LinkedIn has to help you get a better sense of your audience and the campaign performance. Obviously, in Campaign Manager, you're going to be able to see all your information from the leads, how much you're spending, how many people are clicking, the click-through rates, all that crucial KPI and secondary metric information. But there's other tabs that you should definitely be paying attention to. One of them is your Audience Insight tab, which basically after you save that audience, you can go in there and see, what part of the country they're in, what kind of content do they engage with, just additional insights that can help you get some more color on that audience. Also, there's a website demographic report, which is great if you're doing campaigns pushing people to your website. You can understand the job titles, the types of companies that are engaging, and landing on your website. Additionally, there's an offline conversions capability so that as you're getting leads pumped in, to Marketo and Salesforce, if there's leads that for whatever reason, aren't captured in your native lead gen form tracking, there's ways to also get in front of that data. Additionally, you can get a revenue attribution report that lets you see, if somebody turned into a customer and for whatever reason, you weren't able to track them within LinkedIn, it can actually tell you if that person was exposed to a LinkedIn ad. So there's a ton of great tools that you can explore long-term. And, this is a quick and dirty sort of campaign build, but there's so many other things that you would want to explore and test. You would want to look at lookalike audiences. You want to, try building out some account lists, doing some of that retargeting for the people that opened your native lead gen form and didn't convert. So you know that they're kind of interested, but they're a little on the fence. Website retargeting, if you're driving people to the website. Experiment with driving people to your website to try to get them to convert there versus a native lead gen form and see, what does better. You could also do document ads, which works especially well if you create any kind of gated assets. So if you have like a cheat sheet, a tax cheat sheet, or a white paper, or anything of that kind, you can use document ads to tease the first 2 pages of that document and then get them to unlock the full experience, which is, a very great format to test out. And then there's also the ads that you see within your inbox within LinkedIn. So all that is to say is there's so much that can be tested on LinkedIn, but the fact is that there's over 800 million, active business professionals on the platform that are ready to talk to your business. So I hope this video has given you a good idea of how you can leverage the platform to get meetings. And again, if you have any questions, comments, toss them below. I'm happy to help. Till the next video, peace.